Hey there, listeners. Welcome back to another thought-provoking episode. Today, we're diving into a topic that's often overlooked, the dark side of being too nice. And we're going to explore this through the lens of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that offers profound insights into human behavior, our values, and the path to true virtue. Alright, let's set the stage here. Being nice, being kind, these are undoubtedly noble qualities, right? But is it possible that there's such a thing as being too nice? Can excessive niceness lead to unintended consequences? Well, the Stoics certainly had some wisdom to share on this front. First things first, let's briefly define Stoicism. It's an ancient Greek philosophy that teaches us to live a life of virtue, wisdom, and self-control. Stoics believed that our emotions and desires could cloud our judgment, and by mastering these aspects of ourselves, we could find true happiness. Now, let's dive into the perils of being overly nice, and how Stoicism sheds light on this aspect of human behavior. At first glance, excessive niceness might seem harmless, even admirable, but the Stoics would argue that it can lead to a host of problems. One of the core virtues in Stoicism is courage, and this is where the caution against excessive niceness comes into play. Stoics believed that true courage involved doing what's morally right, even when it's uncomfortable or difficult. Excessive niceness can sometimes stem from fear of conflict or confrontation, which could prevent us from standing up for our principles. Another Stoic concern about excessive niceness is the risk of becoming a people pleaser. In their view, constantly seeking approval and validation from others could lead us to compromise our own values and priorities. Stoics emphasized the importance of inner wisdom and staying true to our principles, even if it means disappointing others. Stoicism also highlights the paradox of inaction. Sometimes, excessive niceness can lead to inaction when action is needed. The Stoics believed that we have a duty to act in accordance with our principles, especially when we see injustice or wrongdoing. Being too nice, in this sense, could hinder our ability to make a positive impact in the world. Now, let's talk about the emotional toll of excessive niceness. Stoics recognized that suppressing our true feelings and going along with things to avoid conflict can create inner turmoil. It's like bottling up your emotions, and eventually, that bottle is going to burst. Stoicism teaches us to acknowledge our emotions, but also to channel them wisely. Setting healthy boundaries is another key aspect of Stoicism, and it directly relates to the perils of excessive niceness. Stoics argued that we must respect ourselves and our own well-being. Constantly prioritizing others' needs and wants at the expense of our own can erode our self-respect and lead to burnout. Stoicism encourages us to recognize the power of saying no. It's not about being rude or dismissive, it's about asserting our values and priorities. By learning to say no when necessary, we maintain our integrity and ensure that our actions align with our principles. Another Stoic perspective is the value of honest conversations. Instead of avoiding conflict or difficult discussions, Stoicism suggests that we should engage in open, respectful dialogues. These conversations allow us to express our true thoughts and feelings while also seeking to understand others' perspectives. The Stoics believed that self-care was essential for living a virtuous life. Excessive niceness, which often involves neglecting our own well-being, can run counter to this principle. By prioritizing self-care, we become better equipped to help others and to make a positive impact in the world. Ultimately, Stoicism teaches us that virtue is the highest good. Virtue involves living in accordance with our principles, cultivating wisdom, practicing courage, and maintaining self-control. Excessive niceness, when it hinders these virtuous qualities, can become an obstacle on our path to true fulfillment. So, how can we apply Stoic wisdom to avoid the perils of excessive niceness? It starts with self-awareness. Reflect on your actions and decisions. Are you being overly accommodating at the expense of your principles? Are you suppressing your true feelings? Use self-reflection as a tool to align your behavior with your values. Stoicism also emphasizes balance. It's not about swinging to the opposite extreme of rudeness or insensitivity. It's about finding the middle ground, where you can be kind and considerate while also asserting your principles and maintaining your self-respect. Courage is a virtue that Stoicism holds in high regard. So, summon the courage to act in alignment with your values, even when it's uncomfortable. Don't let fear of conflict or rejection hold you back from doing what you know is right. Honesty is another key principle. Be honest with yourself about your motivations and desires. Be honest in your conversations with others. Authenticity is a cornerstone of Stoicism, and it can help you avoid the pitfalls of excessive niceness. Setting clear boundaries is an act of self-respect. It's about communicating your limits and expectations to others. By doing so, you create a space where your values and principles can flourish without being compromised. In conclusion, my friends, Stoicism offers valuable insights into the perils of excessive niceness. It encourages us to prioritize courage, self-respect, and authenticity. While being kind and considerate is commendable, it should never come at the expense of our principles and well-being. As we wrap up today's episode, I encourage you to reflect on how Stoic wisdom can guide you in finding the right balance between kindness and assertiveness. Remember, virtue is the ultimate goal, and by aligning your actions with your principles, you can lead a more fulfilling and authentic life. Thank you for joining me on this journey into Stoicism and the perils of excessive niceness. Until next time, stay curious, stay true to your values, and may you find the wisdom to navigate life's complexities with grace and integrity. Take care, and keep striving for virtue.